Now, I've been asked what's my story. I'm going to try and make my story as quick as possible. I was a Division I college athlete playing at USC, fight on, I'm a Trojan. And during that time, preseason physicals, that is when I found out that I had a lot of protein in my urine. And from there, just led to test after test. And I ended up having to have a biopsy. When they took the biopsy, they found that, my kidneys weren't functioning at 100%. And then, but they did find that I had high blood pressure. So just imagine being a Division I athlete, top of your game, top of your health, top of your physical fitness, and on blood pressure pills as a college student. So something that I wish I would have known and been educated on is just what I talked to you about earlier, how important it is in controlling your blood pressure. My blood pressure was not controlled on a consistent basis. I was young, I was traveling, playing basketball in different countries, and I recall running out of my medication and thinking, oh, it's no big a deal, let me just take a pill every other day. No, if you have been prescribed blood pressure medication, you need to take it as consistently and exactly at the same time and when your doctors tell you to. So from there, not controlling my blood pressure over a few years, I was getting a very superficial procedure. I had a corn on my toe. And so I was like, you know what? I got great insurance. I want to get this off because I'm going to be moving states, and I want to try and continue my career and play and try and get in training camp and things like that. And so from that procedure, I had a whole bunch of doctors kind of come in surrounding my room, and it's an outpatient procedure. And that's when they had asked me a bunch about my health history, and then they wanted to know if I was aware that my kidneys were functioning at 26%. Of course, I was not aware. So from there, moved states, got connected with a transplant institute in Arizona. And I would say for about a year and a half, my kidneys held on to that functioning. It dropped from 26% to like 20%. But mind you, I was still training. I was still lifting weights. I was eating healthy. But I noticed that when I would get done lifting weights or training, then I would just pass out. Okay, just like wake up and because I had developed chronic anemia. So ended up having to have my first kidney transplant. My mother was a match. So yes, my mother, beautiful Connie, she has birthed me twice, and got that kidney in, and it was as if nothing happened. I was 25 at the time. So I'm going to be telling my story. You guys are going to be adding up my age, but it's all good. So at that time, I then went on about life. And then in 2013, being consistent and seeing my nephrologist on a regular basis. You do your labs every 3 months, and just over the year or two, my labs, my creatinine level was increasing, my GFR, all these terms that hopefully you don't have to ever understand, but those are some of the factors from your blood and your urine test that they determine just how well your kidneys are functioning. And so as I started to lose that functioning, my husband at the time was coaching basketball internationally. He was in China, a whole different day, almost a whole day ahead. And I remember being at a training and getting several missed calls from my nurse. Always be your advocate. I had my nurse's cell phone numbers. They had my number. And just seeing those missed calls, I knew that something was going on. And so, because I had just previously done labs a couple of days prior. So got the call that I needed to come in to the hospital. They had to put me on a bunch of steroids to pretty much keep me alive and functioning while I waited for a kidney. But I wasn't on a list. I had no one that had gotten tested. So long story short, I ended up calling my husband, telling him what happened, needed him by my side. He flew like 36 hours. He landed on the day of our anniversary. It was our 3-year anniversary at the time. And then we went straight home. He showered, and then he went to the Transplant Institute to begin some testing. I'm like, well, you're the only one I know that, let's see where this goes. And so one factor is that, my husband is Caucasian, I'm African American. And so with that, I just kind kind of just, I really didn't think that he would be a match, but, from blood types to tissue typing to all the different tests that they have to do to determine a match, he was a perfect match, as if we were blood-born siblings. So with that being said, a typical transplant waiting list is years. A typical transplant from the moment you get a donor that's a match to the time you go into surgery is anywhere from 3 to 6 months, 6 months to a year, because it depends on how healthy you are, how healthy the donor is. But we went into surgery 8 days from the first test. And so I give all glory to God for just continuing to protect me and provide me with matches for my kidney transplants. I have been blessed to not have to do dialysis. And so I'm just here, being an advocate, being passionate, and trying to educate as much as I can, because my story doesn't have to be your story. And if you listen to earlier in the video, some of the things that I told you to watch out for and the data and the statistics, it's real. It's real. It affects our community. It affects everyone. It doesn't matter what you look like, how old you are, what weight, what size, what height, what race. Chronic kidney disease is a factor in so many people's lives, and you don't have all of the warning signs until it's too late. Okay? So thank you so much for your time.